Hello, in this video, we are going to be looking at the HRM2, the HRM module of the WaoBiz solution. From the dashboard, scroll to the bottom and you check the left sidebar, you see the HRM link. When you click on it, it brings you to the HRM side of the solution. Here's the dashboard, the HRM dashboard, where you have a couple of data shown to you. If there are leaves, available leaves, you see them right here. If there are sales targets that have been given to employees, you see them here. If there are upcoming birthdays for employees of your organization, you also see their data right here. Here, you can use this link to immediately preview payrolls of staff. If you scroll to the bottom, you could see additional data, including users, leaves, holidays, attendances of staffs who have clocked in or clocked out for a particular date, and then a more robust sales target information. So if you scroll back to the top, you find tabs at the top. The HRM tab, the leave type tab, the leave tab, attendance tab, and so on. So you can explore each of these tabs to see their content. So the leave type tab is basically used to create types of leave. So here, for example, you see a maternity leave as a leave type already created on the system. If you click on the add button, you could add additional leave types. So let's say, for instance, we're adding another leave type here and say this is for 20 days. So we can put in those information and click on save. Automatically, the leave type is created on the system. The next tab is the leave tab. So on the leave tab, it helps you show all leave information on the system, applied, already exhausted leaves, incoming leave or pending leave. You see all of them here. If you click on the filters, you would see filters that can help you to tailor your search. All right, so you can filter by employee name, you can filter by the status of the leave, you can filter as well by the leave type, you can filter by the date range, when to when the leave was applied for. So you can use the add button to add a leave. This button is accessible both to employee or can be accessible to employee who are given the rights to apply for leave and for the HR manager who may be the leave approver. So here you can select the employee who is applying for the leave and then the type of the leave. Here you can apply and set the start date of the leave and then the end date of the leave. So for instance, Samuel Victor is applying for a paternity leave and start date say 30th, 11/30/2025 and say 12/06/2025. If there are additional details that need to be added, can add it using the reason field here. And then you can click on save and the leave is automatically created. So when the leave is created, it has a reference number. You can see the leave type, the employee name, the date, and how many days is applied for that particular leave. And if there are additional details for the leave, and then you can see the status of the leave right here. So there are action buttons here. Here you can modify using this button, or you can also delete. So you can see additional details here for the leave created, and you can use the delete button here to delete that leave. So if you scroll down, you should be able to see a summary of leaves for each employee. So this is a leave summary for this employee. Applied to days pending, approved, cancelled, and maximum allowed. So if this leave is exhausted, for instance, there will be a count in this place for the leave for that particular employee. The next tab we have here is the attendance tab, and the attendance tab allows staff or employee to clock in and clock out of work every day that they are available at the workplace. So there are also different types of attendance here. So you can see there is an attendance by shifts for organizations that run shifts. You can see that here. You can filter attendance by date. So for instance, you already have an attendance sheet. You can import it into the system if you are moving into the system as a first-time user. So you can use the add button to add latest attendance. Can always select the employee name, the clock-in time, and the clock-out time. If applicable, if shift is applicable, you can also do that. And if there is a clock-in note or a clock-out note, you can also add that here and save. So there are always filters, usually in any of the module or in any of the tab, to help you streamline your search. The next tab we would look at is the payroll tab. And the payroll tab is used to, of course, generate payroll for staff members. All right, so you can here see already existing payrolls, right? It has the name of the employee, the department of the employee, and if there's a designation for the employee, the month or year, the reference number for that payroll, the total amount due for that employee. And here there's an action tab and allows you to view the payroll. So when you click on the view payroll, it gives you a fuller detail for that particular payroll. So you see all of the details necessary in that payroll. So here you can use the print button to print the payroll if necessary. All right, so here as well, you can use there are pay components. You can add pay components depending on the organization and the setup. All right, whether it is for earning or whether it is for deduction. If the pay component is fixed or it is percentage based, and how much is accrued on that particular component. And if the component is applied on a particular date, it also allows you to select the date for which that component should be applied. All right, so you can always create pay components depending on the setup needed. Here in the holiday tab, you use it to define holidays that are applicable to the organization. So we can set different kind of holidays. For instance, so let's say this is 12/31/2025, and let's say this is 01/02/2026. So if this holiday is applicable to a particular location of the business, you can attach it. If it is also applicable to all locations of the business, it is also possible to attach the holiday to all locations of the business. So for instance, if I make this to Wildcard Ghana, it means that this holiday created will only be applicable to Wildcard Ghana and staff members in Wildcard Ghana. However, if I make it all, it means that this holiday will be created and will be applicable to all staff members and for all locations of the business. So we can easily save that, and then it gets recorded on the system. Here in the department tab, you use it to define the different departments available in the organization. So for instance, there are already existing departments created here: business development, legal services, finance, creatives, marketing, etc. Here in the designations tab, you use it to define designations for staff members. All right, so we have a couple of designations, for example, that are already here. All right, so here, when you design the designations, you can attach them to staff members later. So you use the sales target tab to define sales targets for employees. Automatically, any employee available for the business is listed here. Any employee available in the business is automatically listed here. So if you want to define a sales target for that employee, simply use this action button, and you can use that to define the target for that particular employee. And there could be multiple targets for this employee, and the percentage commission that may accrue to meeting that target. All right, so you can close that. And the last tab that we have here is the settings tab. So you use the settings tab to define settings for the HRM module. So if, for instance, you want your leave reference number to have a particular name, maybe the name of your organization, or if there are multiple locations and you want to differentiate the leave applications per locations, you could just name it or give it a reference, a prefix reference name that will be attached to that any leave application that is created on the system thereafter. On the payroll here, of course, again, you can create a prefix for payroll namings. Here is attendance. Here in the attendance settings, you could define a check-in, a grace period for check-in, right? And so the system is able to automatically measure whether a staff member who clocks in has exceeded the grace period or within the grace period. So that way the system is able to correctly track whether the staff member is late to work or not late to work, as the case may be. Here in the sales target, you could define a settings for calculating sales target commission with or without tax. So if this is checked, it means that the system is going to calculate the commission without tax. But if it is unchecked, it means that this, the system is going to calculate the commission with tax. And here is the office tab. So here you can prefix the to-dos for created on the office. If any of the settings here is modified, you need to use the update button here to update that setting. And that marks the end of the HRM.